Channel, welcome back to a brand new video. There is something interesting going on at Arsenal and our future could be very interesting. Arsenal are looking to sign players around 23-24, but imagine this, we already have some generational talents on our hands, and I mean Ethan Nwaneri, I mean Tommy Setford, I mean Miles Lewis-Skelly. So in this video, let's talk about the future of Arsenal Football Club, why I think Mikel Arteta is building something very interesting for the future. We might have not won anything with this current squad, and again, we could win things with this current team, but even if we don't, Arsenal are really preparing for the next 5 years very well. One of the things that I've got to appreciate about this Arsenal team right now is they've given us a chance to watch Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly. Those are the two players for me that have stood out this campaign without a doubt. For their age, for their experience, and what they're doing for us as a team, it is absolutely mind-blowing. But of course, Mikel Arteta has already showed us that he's very good at working with young players. You know, he elevated Saka to the levels that we know him at. He elevated Gabriel Martinelli, and of course a few other players that he's brought in and improved them. And Mikel right now is looking at the market to bring in a few young options that he could actually add to this team and make them deliver. The likes of Šeško, the likes of Nico Williams, and the likes of Martin Zubimendi. So the future of Arsenal Football Club, come the next 5 years, we could actually redominate football just like the Manchester Cities have done and just like the Liverpools have done. So let's start off with Miles Lewis-Skelly, because I think for me, Lewis-Skelly is such an interesting prospect, but it's also such an interesting talent as well. I mean, we are talking about a 17-year-old midfielder who has turned into left back, and that is actually very interesting, because this young boy is a midfielder. He's played all his time as a midfielder, the way you would see Alexander Zinchenko, and he has just been turned into a left back. And this boy has outdone Zinchenko, pushed him out of his position, and is now pushing him out of the club. He's also outdone Ricardo Calafiori, and he's outdone a couple of other players. I mean, before Lewis-Skelly, we used to use Kiwior there, Tomiyasu there, Calafiori when we signed him, and Julen Timber. But Lewis-Skelly has given Mikel Arteta that option that you don't need to think about who's going to play at left back. If I'm fit, if I'm not on 5 yellow cards, if I'm not on red card, I am going to be that player. So I think going forward, Mikel Arteta has got to scratch his head a little bit harder and a little bit deeper. What do I do in a situation where I've signed Ricardo Calafiori for 45 million euros? He's a generational talent as well. And then I have Miles Lewis-Skelly, who doesn't put a foot wrong and is actually a better defensive option than Ricardo Calafiori is. Now for me, obviously with Lewis-Skelly in the team, Kieran Tierney can go, Zinchenko can go as well. I think Jakub Kiwior is going to be an interesting position to look at, because I don't think Kiwior gets into the team at left back before Lewis-Skelly. I think it's Lewis-Skelly first, and then Jakub Kiwior. So for me, the next 5 years, I won't be surprised if Lewis-Skelly becomes our Ashley Cole. And maybe that's a kind of an overrating of him, but I can't put it in any other words. He's such a generational talent. When I talk about generational talent, I'd say, the talents that we have seen at Arsenal, and we can call them generational, it's Nwaneri, it's Skelly, and Cesc Fabregas. Those are the ones that we can say. Apart from Hilep, he did come from Arsenal's academy, but he was on another level. Now, why Lewis-Skelly is such an important part of this team, it is his work in possession. He's such a very good caretaker of the ball that the team trusts him, and fellow players, older players, do not fear giving him the ball. That is very different. That is actually very rare when it comes to a 17-year-old. You feel like other players will try to protect him. You feel like they will give him the ball, but they'll try to give him that kind of cover. But when you look at the goal he scored against Manchester City, Actually, Declan Rice gives him the ball. He's in a very, very adverse position. And you can see that there are no other players that are panicking to get the ball from him. And that just allows him to propel forward. I don't know what he did. I don't know why he did what he did. And then he scores a very beautiful goal against Manchester City. So Lewis-Skelly, for me, he's going to be a part of this Arsenal squad consistently. I can see him become our, Phil Foden, that kind of, that kind of player that comes from the academy and sticks around and does very, very well. But when you thought that Lewis-Skelly is amazing, and when we thought that Lewis-Skelly is something to watch and look at, we've got Ethan Nwaneri. Now, for Nwaneri, I don't know how good he can be, but I know how good he is, and I can't believe that he is that good. Like, for Ethan Nwaneri, it's impossible. We've always said it's impossible for you to come and do what Saka does. And Nwaneri just said, it's possible for me to come and do what Saka does. Unbelievable talent. Really unbelievable talent. And I think for the future, Mikel Arteta is sorted when it comes to Saka and who's going to compete with Saka. I mean, you know Saka is talented, right? And you know Saka is a generational talent. He's our star boy and all that. But Ethan Nwaneri has got the ability to play where Odegaard plays comfortably. He's got the ability to play the number 7 comfortably. And he's got the ability to play anywhere in that midfield apart from defensive midfield comfortably. I mean, like, this is Chess Fabregas 2.0. This is, I don't know. I am not used to seeing this. When we played him at right wing, I was very skeptical. And I remember saying that, why are we playing Ethan Nwaneri at right wing? Why aren't we trying to do something like Trossard and, he inverts? And the reason that's why I said that was because I saw him as a number 10. We had used him so much in the number 10, and all of us were comfortable. Our eyes were comfortable with the pattern of seeing Ethan Nwaneri as a number 10. But boy, oh boy, we've got to rethink his position, haven't we? Like, Mikel Arteta really likes versatile players. Nwaneri is not just versatile, he's super versatile. Because the reason as to why we tried to sign Kudus a year ago was Kudus has got that ability to play across different positions comfortably with a lot of effectiveness. Now, Arsenal got Ethan Nwaneri, who is, for me, at the moment, our most frightening attacker. Because when I look at Trossard, I'm like, he's good, but is he that direct? Not really. When you think about Kai Havertz, not really. When you think about, and he's injured now. When you think about Mikel Merino, yeah, we are forcing him into the 9. When you think about Raheem Sterling, we know the story, right? But Ethan Nwaneri is Arsenal's most deadly and most frightening attacker. Direct, has a very powerful shot, has a very, accurate pass, shooting accuracy, and he is able to take on players 1v1. I think that is one thing that was really frightening for me and for a couple of Arsenal fans when Saka got injured. How do you deal with a lack of Saka? Because Saka takes on players 1v1, he creates chances for himself, he creates chances for others, he speeds up our game. He can be the brain, he can be the soul of the team, and we win 10 games in a row. That is what Saka gives us. But what I've seen so far with Ethan Nwaneri, Brighton, Manchester City, Leicester City, if he's given enough time and we take care of him, and in terms of taking care of him, I mean, don't allow England and don't allow the coaching staff to overplay him and the manager to overplay him. We've got to protect him. We've got to make sure that he progresses at the right time. Don't give him each and every single game because he's that good. Because we know players like Pedri, players like Gavi have suffered critical injuries, and Ansu Fati, critical injuries because of being overplayed. They are good, so Spain will call them. They are very good, so Barcelona will play them each and every time they get a chance. So for me, Ethan Nwaneri, even without thinking about Lewis-Skelly. He's a freak of nature. He's a freak. Like, we talk about Yamal, we talk about Musiala. If Nwaneri gets a chance to go to the Euros and he gets a chance to start, the same chance that was given to Musiala, the same chance that was given to Yamal, England have a big talent on their hands. But for Arsenal, we've got a player that we can say, go and change the game. We've got a player that we can say, well, Odegaard is out, we have Nwaneri. Saka is out, we have Ethan Nwaneri. Now, whether his best position is the 10 or the 7, I think as time progresses, as time goes on, we will actually find out. And I really don't have a problem. I know a few people have a problem with that, but I don't have a problem with him being versatile and playing across multiple positions. But what is actually very interesting is that Arsenal realized that they have all this talent. We have a very good goalkeeper, young goalkeeper in Tommy Setford that we brought in the summer. And Setford is one of the talents that are actually starting for Arsenal in cup competitions with a second goalkeeper in Neto being on the bench. Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. Like, we have a second choice goalkeeper in Neto, but Mikel Arteta decides, I'm going to play this 18-year-old, 17-year-old goalkeeper because I think there is something there. So I think in each and every department, Arsenal have slowly but and gradually employed a young kid that stands for the future. That is why it still hurts me to the day that players like Omar Hutchinson and players like Chido Obi Martin were not given a clear pathway to the starting 11. We could have had them by now. Like, imagine right now we don't have Saka and Odegaard is off form. We introduce Nwaneri and we introduce Omar Hutchinson. Different levels. Absolutely different levels. And Chido Obi Martin, I know people like to troll him. He's a traitor and all that. I don't think he's a traitor. I think he decided to have his future away from Arsenal, and many people have done that. Many players have done that. I don't see why Chido Obi Martin should be a point of fixation for anyone at all. Now, thinking about the transfer market, this is where things are going to get even better for Mikel Arteta, for Arsenal fans, and the team. Arsenal are working on signing Nico Williams, and Arsenal are also working on signing Benjamin Sesko. Now, when you think about those two players, their average age is 23. Nico Williams himself is a talent produced by aliens. You can't be that good at that age, playing for that club, and we do not question whether you're really human. He is good. With Benjamin Sesko, I think Arsenal are looking to groom a player slowly but surely. Allow him learn the values and principles and whatever Mikel Arteta wants to employ at the club. But most importantly, Sesko is one of the young strikers that are really, really good. I don't want to take that away from him. I don't think he's at the level where Arsenal need him to be, but he, as a young player, he's actually very, very good. So if we go in the market and add Nico Williams to Ethan Nwaneri and Sesko and Lewis-Skelly and Tommy Setford and a couple of other youngsters that are coming through, I think Arsenal have one of the safest futures in the safest hands. Because this team is in their prime. And it really hurts me to see that we have built a team, a very, very good team, and now they're in their prime, but all of us are really going, are they going to win? Like, Odegaard, are we going to win with these guys, right? The future is okay, but we need to set the stage for them. We need to show them the way. We need to win the Champions League. We need to win the Premier League with the current squad so that by the time they leave, right? I think, one of the things Arsene Wenger had done very well was to make sure that he was really successful with the Invincibles, in that all the players that came knew what Arsenal was, what we stood for, and what it meant to wear the badge and the shirt. And we did whatever we did. We almost won the title on 2 occasions. I think it was 2015 and 2008, and it failed. But one thing that we lack right now to consolidate the future is to show these boys the way, how it is done. And I believe at some point in time, it's going to happen. See you soon.